Twin Visions, a Single Reality. It started with Clinton Day, a Bay Area architect. What is considered his masterpiece, the Wells Fargo Bank at Grant Avenue and Market Street, was part of an important concept known as the City Beautiful movement. This movement was Daniel Burnham's inspiration to bring new life to the urbanization of a city that grew out of a response to the gold rush. The predominating architectural style would be Beaux Arts in a variety of manifestations. The plans were magnificent, encompassing a landscape park that would extend to the Golden Gate Panhandle, efficient transportation, included city views, and considered everything from building costs to utilizing the most of San Francisco's natural beauty. Then came the earthquake of 1906. The quake left the city in ruins between crumbled buildings and the subsequent fires that ran rampant through the skeletal remains. City Beautiful now had a clean slate to start with. Unfortunately, with devastation of this magnitude comes the critical need and desire to rebuild with or without an ideal in mind. It was with necessity taking priority over ideal that the City Beautiful movement was shelved and San Francisco moved on and rebuilt. While Burnham's plans were left behind in the rubble, the philosophy was not, and the original grandeur of Beaux Arts, being the predominant civic style, persisted. And so it was that Day continued with this style, and as much as could be applied, the City Beautiful concepts. Built in 1907, just 1 year after the 1906 earthquake, the Williams Building is an outstanding example of what some may call Beaux Arts, but would be recorded as Renaissance Baroque by the Library of Congress. It is one of two of Day's remaining commercial properties downtown San Francisco. Fascinatingly enough, the Williams Building would not only be a part of one significant earthquake, but two. It would also play a prominent role in a modern version of the City Beautiful movement philosophy. 1998 would be a year to mark another one of San Francisco's major earthquakes, the Loma Prieta earthquake. It ranked 6.9 on the Richter scale, leaving considerable structural damage to many of the city's buildings. The Williams Building on 3rd Street and Mission was no exception. The building would remain relatively unused until Webcor Builders came along in 2001 to breathe new life into, rehabilitate, and incorporate the historical value into the new St. Regis Museum Tower. Not only would the Williams Building house all of the St. Regis service areas, including health club and spa, food service, and operations offices, but its third floor umbilically serves as an extension of the African American Cultural Museum, whose primary location is in the St. Regis Museum Tower. Webcor took a proactive approach to the retrofit, finding creative and innovative solutions to what typically would be costly during such a project. As a result, over $3 million was saved due to efficiency. Efficiency in cost, building materials, and other such areas were part of the guiding beliefs in the Burnham's City Beautiful movement. It seems fitting that they were applied again in conjunction with a new vision for the Bay Area skyline, a vision that would include skyscrapers as a new form of prominence, as Beaux Arts had once indicated. By 1985, skyscraper building had slowed to non-existent. By 1986, Measure M had passed, which set building limits and protected the historical buildings, the Williams Building included, from being encroached on by these dominating structures. As early as 2005, San Francisco had seen a resurgence in interest to bring back the skyscraper and enhance her skyline view in a thoughtful way, respecting the history, urban setting, and natural Bay Area grandeur. There is a hope to enhance civic pride, but also to reflect the splendorous attributes of the Bay Area setting. This is not too dissimilar to Burnham's vision. Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill were commissioned for the project. Research indicates that they were an excellent choice for the forward and proactive thinking, creatively including and reflecting the environment of the site, and designing a significant structure that indicates the modernism of its urban setting without disenfranchising the Beaux Arts history it sits adjacent to. Brilliant. This was all taken into consideration when building the St. Regis Museum Tower, which sits in what is now considered the cultural center of the city. St. Regis started construction in 2001, was completed in 2005, and is 42 floors high. It is considered a mixed-purpose tower as it houses condominiums, a 5-star hotel, and the Museum of African Diaspora, MOAD. The St. Regis Museum Tower has several awards to its name. It's not hard to understand why when one reads about the thought and character that went into the design. The building's architecture is meant to capture the essence of the dramatic, constantly changing quality of light in San Francisco, says Craig Hartman, design partner with Psalm. The team developed a rich, 4-toned pattern weave using horizontal and vertical reveal elements with distinctly separate finishes within and across the punched window panels. This concept created a textile-like surface for the entire facade. To articulate the cloth weave in precast, 2 colors and 2 textures created 4 elements, which were used to express a series of interlocking interwoven bands. The St. Regis Museum Tower is a tribute to modernism-style architecture. When one considers modernism, then it is a paring down of the extraneous so as to focus on what is important philosophically, the connection with nature, and an honoring of the contributions of the machine age. It seems to not only be the most likely, but also the most appropriate choice for this particular project. The design itself resembles a geometrically textured fabric to the eye, a fabric that weaves in its environment with innovative building materials, a fabric that connects contemporary consciousness with the ideals and styles of earlier decades, a fabric that reminds us that no matter what our history and what challenges we may face, what damages we may incur, what lessons learned and evolutions made, there is a connection that should be made between the present and the past. There will always be a residual foundation that is built upon, next to, and through as we look into the future. It is my hope that the fusion of visions between Daly and Psalm withstands any civil or physical earthquakes that may rock the architectural designs of San Francisco.